So, I have no idea whether I should thank God for what happened or praise the sun.
For what?
The fact that Naruto is finally ending.
Praise the sun!
How many years has it been now?
12.
It came out in 1999 in Japan.
Oh my gosh. So,
Yeah.
dang.
So that'll almost...
And all I can say is, thank fucking God. It's over. It's finally over at the end of the month.
So I read the most recent chapter of it, and it looks like they're not going to do an entirely dragged out side sequence. But on the other hand, it looks like they're going to hug it out.
Yeah.
I don't know what disturbs me more.
Well, on the one hand, it is supposed to be the end of an era of, turmoil. It's not going to end in more turmoil. It's got to end in a way that resolves both sides peacefully.
On the other hand, fan fiction writers are going to go ahead and bring this out more peacefully by saying one is going to mount the other like a dog in heat.
That is true.
You know what's really kind of pissed me off about the whole Naruto final battle arc?
The fan fiction?
No, the fact that the final battle has been going on for a year and a half. I am
What
not.
do you expect? It's one of the it is the biggest manga of all time. They can't just boom Gecko ending it.
No.
Would you prefer a Gecko ending?
You better explain to people what the hell a Gecko ending is.
Okay, do you remember Full Metal Alchemist, the original cartoon?
Not Brotherhood, but the one before it.
Yes.
Yes.
The one before the reboot.
The one with the weird lady that comes out in the middle of the end. That's supposed to be
basically like Hohenheim Light's girlfriend, kinda.
Yeah, that.
Well, that was not actually in the manga. That was tagged on at the ending because the anime had caught up to the manga, and at that point, the anime needed to basically end.
Mm-hmm.
So the anime creators basically made their own ending. And that is what we call a Gecko ending.
Alright, and if you're looking for other examples, look at Soul Eater, Toriko as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I should say that Gecko endings are usually disappointing because they end in a way that, well, it doesn't feel quite as conclusive as we'd like it to be.
Like a ceaseless discharge?
Yes.
Yeah.
That boss was fun, by the way.
Oh, actually, there is one anime that I think had a decent Gecko ending. Black Butler.
If you say so. I'll
The
first take your word for it.
The first season, not the second season. Just ignore the second season.
I'm not actually going into Kuroshitsuji because it's not my cup of tea, if you get my meaning.
How did they end season 1 for Big O, Zero? Do you remember?
Well, I remember that there were more Mega Deuces appearing in the
Mega what?
Yeah, but remember how...
Mega Deus.
Remember how when they started season 2, they started in like a parallel world?
I never saw season 2. I stopped at season 1.
Yeah, because I know that season 2 actually has a really good ending, but season 1, I don't remember how season 1 and for most parts...
Season 1 ended because there was another Dorothy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And that just leaves more questions than answers, and that's even worse ending, I think.
I think I'm more lost than if I was Dorothy in Oz right now.
We'll have to show you that one on a later date.
Yeah, another one next to JoJo.
Anyway,
Oh boy.
The good news is that one is actually finished, so you're not missing anything.
Okay.
Alright, so a little late to say this, but once again, welcome to the Legend Times Podcast.
Episode 9!
We are 1 away from 10 episodes, and holy crap, we've actually been consistent with this shit.
Good God! Is the world going to end or something? Oh, wait, it's not 2012.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 2 years after that.
It's not 1999 either.
Yes.
How many times has the world almost ended now?
I think about 6 times in the past decade.
Okay. Well, 7th time's the not charm, I suppose. Anyway.
Are we going to celebrate with steak and mini golf on that one too?
Oh, that should be fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, why don't we introduce ourselves for any new viewers?
I am Death Zero, the complete psychopath of the group.
I am Legend, the insightful and brilliant one.
Wait a minute, you're not Legend.
I'm not?
No!
You're Leo, the resident perv and asshole.
Not always an asshole.
I beg to differ.
And I'm the eponymous Legend Hunter.
Yeah, the guy who's named after this group, even though I made up the freaking group.
We're 2 out of the 3 shareholders, so we override you.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm according to this contract.
What contract?
The one that he made you sign while you were blackout drunk?
I've never been drunk.
Well then, how do you explain this badly forged signature?
Badly forged God damn it. Anyway, so...
How was your week 0?
Sounds like a good one.
It's been kind of up, down, all around, and meh.
Blarg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do recall...
I'll just say that a lot of family issues happened, and it was a bit of a, not really drama, but kind of busy, and I'm currently being distracted by Leo frickin' dancing on the couch. What the fuck, man?
What? I can't just chill out while you're doing your skit?
Well, it is distracting.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So yeah, a lot of crap happened, but other than the crap happening, I was playing, I've been playing a bunch of Dark Souls.
Yeah, you got the game himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he can torture himself now.
Yeah, and recently I just spent 5 hours grinding for humanity, and I was an idiot doing that.
Well, you're not supposed to liquefy all of it. You're supposed to have at least, maybe if you want to go for a chaos weapon, leave 10 on liquid, and then keep the rest on reserve in case you die.
I had 20 in reserve. I had 30 on my body.
Yeah, that's too much. That's 20 too much.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way when I lost to the freaking gargoyle about 50 times.
Well, specifically, the gargoyles you meet in Anne Orlando. You actually made it past the bell gargoyles just fine.
Yeah, that was still a pain in the ass. And I beat the Iron Giant, by the way.
Congratulations on that, and enjoy Anne Orlando. It is very fun.
Yeah.
In every sense of the word.
Yeah, when you say that, I'm just picturing pain, torture, and utter humiliation.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, but I also mean fun in the fun way, as in, it's actually one of my favorite areas in the game. It's very beautiful, as you've seen.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite places, just hanging out and running around like a crazy person.
And let's see, other than playing Dark Souls, I recently picked up Ocarina of Time 3D again.
Oh, really?
I'm at the Water Temple, people!
Well, they fixed it in this one.
Yeah, the main problem that the original Ocarina of Time had was the fact that you couldn't just immediately select the Iron Boots as an item. In this one, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, you could just tap the screen and you're good.
Problem is, the Water Temple's still a fucking maze.
It's not as bad as it was on Nintendo 64 and GameCube. Well, Wii remake.
Yeah, but other than that, not much else has been going on with me. Leo, how about you?
I've had actually a very good 2 weeks since we've last hung out. I managed to get through some stuff for school, which given me a lot more downtime recently. I picked up Vampires of the Masquerade, which is an old PC game based off of a tabletop game.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah,
I've heard some...
So think of the whole thing about Vampire the Masquerade is that the entire world is filled with modern vampires.
Okay.
And there are 8 species of vampire, different bloodlines, different abilities, at least in the domestic United States. And the PC game has a specific plot that goes around a ancient sarcophagus being pulled up into Los Angeles, and its power goes ahead and starts messing with things around there. It's a really gothic, really oversexed PC game, literally, where one of the last major quests I did involved walking into strip clubs to go ahead and find a vampire hunter, only to find said vampire hunter in a peep show and then proceed to murder her.
I'm pretty sure that game started a whole bunch of fetishes.
No, it was in 2000. Yeah, actually, that's debatable which came first, the chicken or the egg.
I'm going to say both.
Well, if I show you this game's box art design, you'll suddenly see a very familiar face without realizing it. The cover girl looks a lot suspiciously like Arkham Asylum's rendition of Harley Quinn. Before Harley Quinn was given that redesign.
Huh. So... well...
It's definitely very good. It still is getting fan patches even now. The most recent one was a few months ago, and this game came out in 2004.
Dang.
So it does have a dedicated fan base.
Yes, it does. Other than that, I've been doing Pokemon White in addition to some Soul Silver grinding. So a lot of it's suddenly kind of useless now, considering some of the new updates for ORAS. But other than that, I've been just doing a lot of other things, so it's been a good week. It's been a good week. What about you, Legend?
All right. Well, my week is. What can I say about it?
It hasn't been legendary.
Well, I did score a legendary victory. In the past, I should point this out. For Dark Souls veterans, I mentioned before, you know who I'm talking about, but I didn't mention exactly who it was, specifically, that you're going to be fighting. In the second half of the game, entering the second half of the game, you fight a pair of bosses called Dragon Slayer Ornstein and the Executioner Smoth.
Yeah, you showed me the statues of them.
Smile, like the dragon.
Well, the pronunciation is up in the air because no one actually says the name out loud in the game. So it is up for interpretation. And I don't know what Word of God says about it, but Anyway, Smoth and Ornstein is actually one of my favorite boss battles in the game, believe it or not.
Battles?
Boss battles, yes, because they are bombastic.
I didn't know they were from the deep south.
No, they will put you deep south. So far south that you'll cross past Mexico, past Australia, and come out in China. Because they are among the hardest bosses
Wait,
in
that
the game.
doesn't make any geological sense.
Well, I couldn't...
You ricocheted.
No, what happened was they hit me so hard I lost all sense of direction. That's what happened.
So you pulled the left turn at Albuquerque.
Basically, yeah.
Or a misturn at Albuquerque.
Wherever I came out of the ground from after they pounded me into the dirt, I'm pretty sure it wasn't Kansas anymore, Dorothy.
Or Anne Orlando in this case.
No, it was Anne Orlando. I kept getting sent back to the bonfire at the beginning. And yes, I do know where the other bonfire is for you veterans, but anyway, I should point out that these two, again, are extremely creative in their design. One is a...
Bastard!
Well, I was going to talk about Ornstein first, but okay, Smoth. Smoth looks like a gigantic golden Buddha from hell. He basically wears armor that looks gigantic, makes him look fat. He is gigantic compared to his partner, which makes you look kind of like a dwarf.
Like a shrimp.
No, like an
actual...
Like an actual shrimp.
Like an actual shrimp. Yes. And then...
And they brought the... God damn it, you took what I was going to say.
Hey, I'm hungry. I'm sorry.
And, yeah, you are the cocktail. But the other thing about him is that he carries this gigantic hammer, which he will use in a variety of creative ways. Smashing you in the face, smashing you in the face sideways, smashing you in the face the other sideways, or taking it, putting it down on the ground, and then doing what we like to call the pain train, in which case he bulldozes straight through you and anything you're carrying, sends you up into the air, and then proceeds to pancake you against the ceiling.
And then he'll begin to air juggle your ass.
Oh, no, he's not that fast. He's actually slower in comparison to his partner, who is more of a fragile speedster. Andale. But, yeah, this Ornstein, Dragon Slayer Ornstein, is slightly smaller than Smoth, but he's...
Only slightly.
He's fairly fast.
And he carries a weapon that'll make you feel really inadequate.
Yes.
Tell me Ornstein's not compensating for something.
Oh.
You know what?
It gets better.
He's not compensating. He's bragging.
It said that it could split through stone.
That reminds me of our Ravenloft campaign, Leo.
What about a Ravenloft short spear?
Where our good pal Xochitl charmed you into fucking a rock.
Wow, I think that's the first time I've heard Leo speechless.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time. I mean, you had to seduce a seal girl for purposes of escaping a madman's island.
That was still better than what you had to do.
Well, he was... Anyway.
Well, technically we were both forced against our wills.
No, I was magically induced. You had to do it because you were the only one who was charming enough. Otherwise, we were going to have to make Wolf Boy Legend do it.
And we had little confidence in that happening. For some reason.
Yeah, suddenly being a lecher is actually useful now, isn't it?
Well, anyway.
Oh god, the emojis from that game.
What are you talking about? You never participated.
No, I said to walk away from that.
Exactly. What are you complaining about?
Anyway, Ornstein. In case the innuendos haven't sunk in yet, he carries a gigantic spear and is a big user of lightning. And this combination of bosses actually leads to one of my favorite fan nicknames, Snorlax and Pikachu. They both hit extremely hard, though Ornstein hits you quickly, whereas Smough hits you, well, once. And then you're done. But the best part comes after you actually manage to down one of them. The survivor will then absorb the fallen comrade into himself and obtain his powers. If you kill Smough first, Ornstein, and this is why I say it gets better when you say he's compensating for something, Ornstein becomes at least 3 times as tall, and his spear grows to match.
Oh my!
He also gains Smough's moveset, which is a gigantic pain in the ass. And I mean this literally. Because one of Smough's favorite moves is to leap up into the air and bonsai ass drop onto your face. When Ornstein does it, he makes the exact same laughing sound as Smough does, that giant fat bastard, and he adds lightning. So you have to dodge twice.
Oh, joy, I'm already hating lightning in this game.
Oh yeah, it's horrible if you're on the receiving end. If you actually wield it, it's wonderful. As for Smough, if you defeat Ornstein first, which is actually more likely considering Ornstein can teleport over to you, basically.
Say what?
Yeah, he can defy gravity and physics and shoot straight across the room without moving his legs and pierce you through the wall.
Instant transmission.
Almost. It actually looks more like he's, key gliding straight for you. It does look something straight out of Dragon Ball Z, which makes him arguably cooler. But yeah, if you defeat Ornstein first... he's not Freezer. If you defeat Ornstein first, Smough will not absorb Ornstein immediately. Oh no! He lives up to his nickname of the Executioner and destroys him with the hammer. Which then gets absorbed and he now has lightning attacks.
Is he faster?
No.
Thank God.
He just has more lightning, which hits you harder. If you were having trouble dodging him before, have fun dodging him now.
So,
especially since he also has the lightning bonsai drop.
So, kill the Snorlax first, then kill the Pikachu.
If you want to deal with Giant Ornstein, yes. By the way, I forgot to mention one thing about Giant Ornstein. He has an attack where he will skewer you through the sternum and impale you, whereupon he lifts you up to the ceiling and then uses you as a lightning rod, barbecuing you on the end of his lightning spear.
That's an instant KO move, isn't it?
If you don't have the health to survive it, yes. Guess what happened to me a few times?
Baby back, baby back, baby back ribs. Baby back, baby back, baby back ribs.
But the good news is, I did manage to do it. I was cheap as hell doing it, because I didn't have quite the skill that I wanted to beat him with, but I did it. I beat Super Ornstein. And his spear is now mine to wield.
I want that spear.
Okay, both of you don't hog a spear at once.
Oh God, I knew that was coming.
Okay, you know what? Let's just.
Why did I say that? Shit!
You know what? Let's just move away from this. How was our week? The whole Dark Souls stuff, and move on to.
Hey,
sorry.
Well, the other game I got was Smash, but we'll talk more about that later. Anyway,
so
yes, let's not get lightning all over you two's faces.
It's time to clear the air.
Yes,
especially considering with the new Megas from Pokemon that were just announced.
Ah, yes.
Okay, that wasn't too bad of a transition.
Alright.
Alright, so Mega Rayquaza was announced.
Yes, Mega Rayquaza and not Origin Rayquaza.
Or Primal Rayquaza.
Yeah, it's Primal Evolution. Primal Devolution? Primal Evolution? I know, it'll tell us in the game when it finally comes out.
However, that does make one significant point. Who was the boss of Explorers of Time?
Who was the boss of Explorers of Time? There were two. There was, of course, this is major spoilers, dude. But basically,
I'm making a point here.
Yeah, Primal Dialga was basically a Dialga who went insane and lost control over time. In which case, all the time gears, which are the magical MacGuffins that run the land, basically stop working.
So, if we have Primal Dialga in the real Pokemon games, that further solidifies the canon of the dungeon games, doesn't it?
Well, the thing is, they're not called Primal in this game. They're actually called, they're called Origin in this game. There is a difference. Primal Dialga means that he went insane. He was going to his more feral, berserk nature. Whereas Origin means that they're going back to how strong they were when they were able to kick each other's asses at the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Isn't the method still called Primal Evolution?
I don't think it is. I still think it's called Origin Evolution. But
No,
we shall see.
Yeah. Anyway, Mega Rayquaza, who apparently Mega evolves in a different way.
Trogdor!
What?
Mega Rayquaza looks like Trogdor. See, Legend knows. Legend knows.
Godzilla.
No. Strong bad. From Homestuck.
Oh, fuck Homestuck.
Anyway,
Fuck it.
so Mega Rayquaza is announced as a Mega Evolution Pokemon.
Yes.
And first off, let's talk about how it looks.
Because it didn't have enough spikes.
Actually, you know what I noticed? It's the long things that are dangling behind him, kind of like
Its fins.
well, not
Its head, like the one that makes it look like a cross from the front?
yeah. You know those yellow bands that kind of make it look like an Eastern lung dragon's whiskers?
Right.
They're actually the pattern that's on his body originally.
Huh. Okay.
You know from like the opening of the Pokemon Emerald where his markings were glowing?
Yeah, I remember that.
Those are the same markings.
Hmm.
They're just now floating in air now. Which is kind of weird.
It also has a very unique. Its jawbone structure changed quite a bit.
Well, no, what it's got Haxorus things.
No, Haxorus had them facing backwards. This one is facing forward. It is less like an axe and more like tusks.
Well, yeah, they're more like tusks, but it does have its normal mouth. But those are just like little side spike
More
things.
tusks.
Yeah.
And this thing does look intimidating because we all remember how nasty Rayquaza was back in the day. A, he had the ability to neutralize the weather, meaning you could not thunderize him. B, he had ridiculously high attack power and special attack power, as well as good speed to abuse it with.
Mm-hmm.
And priority to boot. What he's going to get in this generation scares me, because there has not been a single Mega Evolution that has forgone attack boost.
Mm-hmm. It's got a new ability called Delta Stream.
So, in the original trio, it canceled out weather effects between Groudon and Kyogre with its airlock.
Yeah, that's what it's called, airlock.
So, Delta Stream behaves completely different. Delta Stream sets up its own permanent weather, its own weather system, which is basically a tornado.
Basically, it's an environment where flying type moves are boosted.
And any weakness, any time that they're attacked by their weaknesses, those weaknesses are the damage is reduced by 50%.
Yeah.
So if a flying type gets hit with Ice Beam, the damage is brought down by 50%.
Yeah, it goes from a super effective to a normal move.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which
that goes
doesn't help Rayquaza too much.
What do you mean it doesn't help Rayquaza?
Hang on.
It's a dragon flying.
It is a dragon flying, meaning that it originally had a quadruple weakness. However, this does mean that it only takes half as much damage from that attack.
It also means that it takes half damage from Stealth Rock, half damage from yeah.
No, it says removes weather and makes moves of a type that flying type Pokemon are usually weak to will only deal normal damage to any flying type Pokemon.
Right.
Okay.
So if you have Stealth Rock and this thing comes in, it's going to go ahead and reduce the Stealth Rock damage in half.
Oh, God.
So
yes, it suddenly gained more bulk. On top of that, its flying type moves got stronger.
Not only that, but it actually gained. Is it a flying type move? I keep forgetting. It got a new move, which I believe.
No, it got Dragon Ascent.
Yeah, it was called Dragon Ascent.
Which has to be a dragon type move.
Yeah.
Unless it is a flying type
Dragon
move.
Ascent, which is said to be the most powerful flying type move.
Oh, God!
I think Legend just realized how dangerous this is.
This is Ornstein's spear all over again.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. The attack animation shows it diving up into space,
And then
absorbing radiation, and then plowing down into its opponent like the pain train.
Yeah!
so it's both Smog and Ornstein.
Fuck! This thing! Because it wasn't broken enough!
So,
Jeez!
so I'm basically calling it right now: Dragon Dance, Dragon Claw, Dragon Ascent, and Extreme Speed.
Yeah.
That'll basically cover it.
Also,
well, you don't have anything for steel types.
Also,
Why would you?
Because steel types still wall that. Partially. I
also,
Maybe.
Can I talk?
Sure.
Also, we got a little bit of info on the legend of how the primal stuff happened when they revealed primal, Mega Rayquaza.
Okay.
So Mega Rayquaza initially was Mega, and then lost the stone over time.
Yep. And then apparently you're...
Primal reversion is what it's called for Rayquaza Groudon and Kyogre.
Yes. One Pokemon looked down upon this battle from the sky above. This Pokemon danced in the heavens. Rayquaza. Rayquaza was venerated by the people of Hoenn as their protector and savior. When Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre had battled for 20 dawns and 20 nights, 40 days and 40 nights. Nice parallels. The world began to lose its natural balance and tilt towards destruction. The people, unable to endure any more, cried out to their mighty savior Rayquaza before a great stone that shone with rainbow brilliance. And a change came upon Rayquaza, weaving in the sky above Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre. Suffused in brilliant light, its body began to transform visibly, and then Exodus 42.
What?
We're not quoting the Poke Bible here.
No, we're not.
No.
I apologize.
So
Yeah, it Mega evolves in a really odd way.
So it means that we might. I'm thinking this means that when we go back to the Sky Tower to capture this thing, that the Mega Stone will be right behind it.
Probably, yep.
Which means that
Okay, let me ask you something. How awful would it be if we had to capture Mega Rayquaza?
Yeah. Do you know how bad capturing normal Rayquaza was?
Yeah, he was at level freaking 70
And
in the original.
if I recall, his capture rate was 4.
Yep, so you'd basically have to soft reset every single time.
And God help you if you were trying to get a shiny. I knew someone who tried to who actually got a shiny Rayquaza.
How many months did it take them?
He was a gibbering, insane lunatic by the end.
How many months though? Like, give me a rough estimate.
24.
24 months.
Shit, that's 2 years.
Yep. Shit.
Took him 2 years to do it because he basically went mad like halfway through and had to just say fuck it.
Thankfully, there are ways to get shinies that are easier.
You mean like with the not gonna ever come to the U.S. shiny Rayquaza for Pokemon Conquest?
You mean the one with V-Create?
Yes.
Probably not.
Yeah.
And God help us if that Rayquaza comes out online.
V-Create and Delta and Dragon Ascent.
There is one thing that I don't understand, though. Whether or not Delta Stream is counted physical or special.
What do you mean?
It does look like a special move, and I would not be surprised if it is.
Delta Stream or Dragon Ascent? Delta Stream is the ability.
Dragon Ascent.
Ascent.
No, Dragon Ascent is going to be physical.
It looks like it's going to be physical because
You're ramming them with the pain train.
I'm going to say.
But then it fires a laser. Doesn't it?
No, it charges itself with energy, and then it just rams you.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, then yeah, it's definitely got to be physical.
Yeah, and
I remember one of the comments on Reddit when they were showing this trailer was, "I can't wait to see this animation used with Smeargle." I know that there's someone out there who has like signature legendary abilities on a Smeargle, just for kicks.
that's sad Smeargle.
No, that's
badass
Smeargle.
Yeah.
But boy, did he have to take his lumps in order to go ahead and learn those moves.
Well,
That's
if
why I
you're in a
said
double
sad.
battle, this should be easy. If you only hit one, it's fine. If you hit both, well, it's going to be harder because the battle's going to be over before you can get the move.
Anyway, but that was the only Mega that we found out about.
No, it wasn't.
We got 2 more!
Yeah.
Yep, and
And actually, this just came out yesterday, in fact.
Yes, just in time. So we have Mega-Beedril to start off with.
Which is something which, I gotta tell you, Game Freak sure knows how to throw a curveball.
and
Of all the Pokemon that we could have expected to get, Mega-Beedril was not the one I was expecting.
and I am not displeased. This thing looks awesome.
No kidding. And it's got new typing. It's now a bug poison instead of a bug flying.
No, it was always bug
Oh,
poison.
really?
Yeah, its typing never changed. It
Oh.
was always a bug poison type.
Sorry.
The bug flying we were thinking of is actually Butterfree.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. It's fine. We all thought it was a flying
But
type.
boy, does it like to compensate.
Let's see. It's now got the ability Adaptability.
Which means that STAB moves count as 2. It counts 2 times
Instead of
instead
1.5.
of 1.5, yes.
Yes. So,
That Poison Jab now is a base 120 move.
yeah, that U-turn is now nasty.
Yeah!
So, and also, this thing gains a boost to its attack and its speed, which it was kind of fragile, but with this boost, I can actually picture it as like a really speedy glass cannon.
Well, the deal
Even
was-
just 25 points in speed
Well-
to put it against Charizard.
Well, the deal was that it had mediocre stats all around. Now it actually has the definitive role doing something.
Mhm.
So swords, I would say something along the lines of Swords Dance, X Scissor, Poison Jab.
and U-turn for survivability.
Not U-turn if you're going to be boosting.
Well,
I would, but
Well, I wouldn't do a sword stance because I don't want to risk it somehow ending up getting knocked out because it's got decent special defense, but its physical defense is pitiful.
one thing that I do want to point out about Mega-Beedril is that it is a bug poison type, meaning that the types that it primarily threatens with its STAB attacks are dark types, psychic types, and the ever-present and omnipotent fairy types.
This thing is
fairies.
Fairy godparents, yes.
Thank you, Denzel Crocker, number 1 and number 2.
Smell my feet.
So I would like to call this thing Spartacus for the Legion of Fairies. Seriously, this thing is a revolution to the poison.
Row, fight the power.
Yeah, pair this thing up with a fighting type or a psychic type, and you've got a devastating offensive combo, I think.
This is the core drill that will pierce the heavens.
Yes! I believe so.
You know,
I can't help you if it's a
does-
fighting type.
speaking of
does it get-
Cordrill, I actually finally did finish seeing Gurren Lagann.
And
Okay, it's alright.
Okay, it's alright. That's the least you can say about it.
giant robots the size of galaxies.
Smashing each other in the face with the power to create the universe.
Man,
And you say that it's alright.
yes.
Oh, God.
You are unbelievable.
I like Kill la Kill more.
He needs to see it.
Yeah. Anyway,
And then
does Mega-Beedril get drill run?
No,
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think it might, though.
Let me double check its moveset.
Mana, mana, do, 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 do.
Please don't do that.
Mana, mana, do, 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 do. Mana, mana, do, 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 do.
Shut up. Alright, so let's see.
In its natural moveset, it does get Twin Needle, which is a base 25 move, which actually hits twice. But thanks to its STAB, I believe we count that as a 50 times move that hits twice.
So it can deal at least 100 damage.
That breaks through
At base.
substitutes.
Yes,
That breaks through substitutes.
Yeah.
And poisons.
Okay, we
We also
also
have Pin Missile.
it also has Toxic Spikes, which could also be good for its move set.
It has Pin Missile, which does 50, which does at least 100 base, and then can go up to 250 base.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And
And then it's got Poison Jab, which is 80, which now is
it's now basically
160.
a 160 base move.
It can do double dancing with Swords Dance and Agility.
and not only that, Poison Jab has a 30% chance of poisoning.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah,
Bell Stinger.
this is a special move for Beedril.
No, it's not special. It's physical. When the user knocks out a target with this move, the user's attack stat rises sharply, which means it can inflict damage, knock out a Pokemon, and then proceed to sweep from there.
Holy crap! I think this guy could be a revenge sweeper.
It could. What else is in this thing's moveset?
Let's-
It gets Roost because it doesn't need it,
Brick Break.
which it doesn't get STAB on, but it will still hit hard.
Sludge Bomb's not going to do anything because it's
Oh.
special.
Not quite. It still gets STAB off of that. So yeah, that's
But
good
it's got
still.
a poor. Let me check its special again. Yeah, it's got a 45 special attack.
But you forget, this thing could get a special boost,
Yeah, okay, so Sludge Bomb got Aerial Ace.
which it does not get STAB on.
It learns Drill Run from a move tutor in Generation 5.
Oh god!
So we might get the move tutors in ORAS.
Which
Yep.
can also help. It also gets Knockoff for
Oh.
60.
It also has Struggle Bug, X Scissor, and Infestation.
Okay, X Scissor is a 100 accuracy, 80 base move with adaptability. That
Is
Goes
a one.
up-
That's stronger than a Hyper Beam.
that's 160 power, yes, and it doesn't get lag.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And it can also trap people
Yep.
with infestation.
Mhm.
Does
And that's
the
the
hype
and that's
continue?
and let's see. U-turn. That's 70 becomes a 140.
If you decide to go, if you don't want to boost,
Yeah.
totally.
Okay, and
These are pre-evolutions. These are transfer moves. Bug Bite.
okay, well, Bug Bite is one that it does get as a Weedle.
It still gets 160, which is good, and it eats berries.
Drill Run, which does not have the it does not have STAB on it, thanks to the fact that it is a ground type. But at 80 power and the improved speed, it will be nasty. Electro Web looks interesting,
Yeah, it can get Silver Wind in Gen 4.
which will become 120 special move.
It can actually defog too.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, it can also raise all stats with Silverwind,
And it can learn Fury Cutter.
which no
and
one ever uses.
Yeah. And String Shot. Yep.
So
Wow.
yes, it is going to be evil, gentlemen.
Yeah, so let's lay down its stats. Its HP is 65, attack is 90, defense is 40, special attack is 45, special defense is 80, and its speed is 75.
But since attack and speed are going to be going up, it's taking its best stats and making them more amazing.
So let's say So if dividing them evenly, let's say 130 attack and 105 speed. No, I'm sorry, 150. If it's 40 points per, it's 130 attack and 115 speed.
I thought it was 100 points per Mega Evolution.
Yeah, then they put 20 points into a bullshit stat, like they put 10 points
Well,
to
then,
make a Heracross's special attack.
you know what I would actually like them to do? Put those points into its HP.
I don't think any of the Pokemon are going to get HP boosts, actually.
Yeah, most Megas don't get an HP boost, but there
Maybe.
is a bit of an anti-hype to this Pokemon that I would like to bring up. And that is its typing. On the one hand, you have a Pokemon who has STAB against the most dangerous typing in the game, Fairy types. And it has ridiculous power behind its attacks now.
Not only that, but it can also deal really good damage to Psychic Pokemon.
And it scares the crap out of Tyranitar.
Yeah, Dark-type Pokemon, run.
Yes, run if you see this thing coming.
Remind me, why do bugs hurt dark? How does a bug hurt darkness?
Well, they run around in the dark, I assume. Dark is the ally of bugs, I should think. Bugs infest it. But the thing about Beedril being a bug poison type means that it is a bug type in a world that is run by Talonflame.
So, you would probably have to have a counter for Talonflame on your team.
You would require one at this point.
Yeah.
Whether you have a Beedrill or not.
That's true.
But even more so, this is basically Talonflame bait. Which could be a good thing because of that ridiculous STAB U-turn.
That's true. You bait out the Talonflame, U-turn, and bring out something that can actually deal with it.
But if you attack, then Talonflame's going to go ahead and Brave Bird with Gale Wings. It's going to hit first every time.
Yep.
Unless it gets a higher speed boost.
No.
Oh, right, the priority.
Yeah, Gale Wings gives +1 priority to all flying type moves.
Right.
So, yeah, this thing will basically one-shot.
However, this is not meant for taking out... then, one, we're going to see more Talonflame users because Talonflame is going to have to guard, not only do his role on regular teams, but now it's going to have to guard Mega Guardian, it's going to have to guard Audino, it's going to have to guard Mega Altaria. You're going to see a lot more rise in Talonflame, even more so than now, just to make sure that Megas who are vulnerable to Beedril are not going to get shut down.
Which is interesting.
So let that sentence rephrase you. You have to put the strongest competitive Pokemon on every team
just to stop this thing.
To stop what was considered one of the weakest Pokemon since Generation 1.
Beedril made a comeback.
So yes, I wouldn't say that it's completely useless, but I would definitely say you can't ignore it.
Nope. So
the other Pokemon, on the other hand, is dubious at best.
Well, before we go on, there is one last thing I would like to bring up. They went ahead and gave the Mega to a lot of the old Kanto Pokemon, including Beedril. However, Beedril was one of 2 Pokemon that you could collect at the beginning of the game. Weedle or
Caterpie.
So my question is a Mega Butterfree in our future?
No, it's going to be Mega Venomoth.
But we already have one of those. But I agree with you.
Game Freak be trolling.
Yes.
We still have not seen a Mega Flygon.
We have not seen a Mega Flygon. Nope.
Well, we still got one more month.
I'm going to add this as an aside because this is a rumor I read on Reddit just before coming here, and that someone close to Game Freak is leaking that there's supposed to be 4 more Megas announced before the day is over. I think it's supposed to be... I can't remember what the 4th one was.
Well,
but the big 3 are supposed to be Mega Flygon,
okay,
Mega Solrock,
Mega Lunatone,
and Mega Lunatone. Furthermore, the secret that you're supposed to get if you play the demo the secret Mega you're supposed to get from the demo is either Mega Solrock or Mega Lunatone, depending on which demo you're playing.
That's interesting.
Now the question is, will you only be able to transfer, say, Mega Ruby, which is Mega Solrock, into Mega Sapphire?
That remains to be seen. Okay.
Who knows?
So I don't know if the demo is going to lock with whatever game you get, or it's transferable either way.
Okay.
All right.
Then.
Again, these are just rumors, so that's why they're not really confirmed yet. They're just rumors I would like to point out.
Okay.
All right.
So,
other legendary that was released.
Not legendary, you mean Mega.
Another Mega that was...
Well, it's Kanto. It might as well be legendary.
Yeah.
The other
Gen
Pokemon
1.
that was released, confirmed for Mega Evolution, was Mega Pigeot.
Who looks fabulous in this brand new feather design.
Yep.
Bird Jesus has made a proper appearance.
Yes. And he
Have you ever seen the freaking Pokemon Plays Twitch? Pidgeot is literally called Bird Jesus.
No.
They could have named
I've
that
seen the spoof video of the whole entire nunfuckery that was that whole thing.
So anyway, yeah, he looks... he got a brand new color scheme, which gives him a lot more blue. He does have Dio's hairstyle. In feather form. But, yeah, Mega Pigeot is bigger. He looks badder. I will say that. I do like the colors.
Okay. He gets the ability No Guard, which I kind of feel is a double-edged sword.
It is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, hurricane for days, motherfucker. Call me freaking Katrina because I'm going to wreck up a storm.
Ooh. Oh god.
And on the other hand...
Haste.
On the other hand, if it takes a Savage once, it's going down like Fall Out Boy.
Ooh.
And it's going down swinging.
Oh god, I actually like that song.
Well, yeah, it does. It does get all of these wonderful moves.
Not only that, but Mega-Pigeot gets a tremendous boost to its special attack.
Which means that Hurricane, which was hitting you at base 110 to begin with, is going to...
120?
No, it's actually 110.
Oh, yeah, they nerfed it in Generation 6.
Well, it's going to hit all that much harder. So...
And it has a 30% chance of confusion.
Oh, God.
It also learns Heat Wave back from Gen 5 as a tutor move.
So, it can... Why does it need Heat Wave?
Steel types.
Oh, okay, true.
It also learns, for some reason, Uproar.
Which is not a bad move for wrecking through Substitute.
Yeah, let's see what else it learns.
It got Quick Attack, which is nice for finishing off opponents.
Roost would be useful for survivability.
Which makes it nicely bulky.
Although it's going to get one-hit KO by a Thunder every single time.
Not quite. If it does get the Roost off beforehand, it will be able to tank the hit slightly. I guess the usual stuff. Hidden Power, Rain Dance for some reason, Roost, Frustration, which you're never going to use, Return, which you're probably also not going to use.
It learns Round.
Which you're also not going to use.
It actually doesn't have a lot of special moves.
Yeah, surprisingly.
But from egg moves, it does learn Air Cutter and Air Slash.
But again, with Hurricane.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure all it needs is Hurricane.
The Scorpions are going to go ahead and have a field day with this.
Let's see, what other transfer moves? It gets Ominous Wind as a transfer move.
Which is interesting because it does go through Steel types, but the base 60 move...
And would give it something to hit Ghost types?
Yeah, it would. Yeah. But the thing is, it's only a base 60 move.
Yeah.
So it's still going to have issues.
Well...
Yeah, and let's check its stats again.
Hidden Power is only a base 70 move.
Not quite. It actually got nerfed.
I know, but I'm saying back before the nerf.
Yeah.
But everyone ran Hidden Power.
Yes.
You know, that's my point, though.
Yeah, and I always hated that because that was such a pain to try to get onto your Pokemon.
At least it's not as bad as in Gen 6 because now you're just doing it for the type.
Yeah.
And then the power is preset to 60.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's...
But the big thing I'd like to point out about this is that keep in mind we're only making these assumptions off of X and Y movesets.
Uh-huh.
And for one, we're already hoping that tutors are going to come back.
Yes.
But the other thing I'd like to point out is that even the Mega Pokemon, once they get a Mega Evolution, often have their own normal movesets change. For example, Emperors
got Dragon type moves.
When it was announced that its Mega would get its Mega form was going to be Electric Dragon, its moveset suddenly changed to allow it to learn Dragon Pulse. As a regular Ampharos.
That's very true.
So there's also consider that Squirtle, for example, in order to accompany its Mega Evolution with
Mega Launcher.
Mega Launcher, learns Dark Pulse and Aura Sphere via breeding,
which is pretty awesome.
So potentially the same thing can happen here. And if we have something like, say, Focus Blast, which would be incredible. If it gets Fire Blast, it would be incredible.
That is very true.
So,
and actually putting this guy on a double battle with Rayquaza. Oh wait, no, you can't have two Megas on the field.
No, you cannot.
That is very true. So, what we're looking at here is a Pokemon that got its normal type moves buffed. And it's now one of the only Pokemon that is able to spam a 100% accurate... No, it is the only Pokemon in the game who can spam 100% accurate Hurricanes outside of rain.
Without setup.
Without setup, yes.
Yeah, which is actually pretty damn scary if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. It also gets a special attack boost. But it also brings up the one thing that I need to address. Well, two things.
First off, its stats.
No, that's not the problem. The problem is its emphasis on special attack. What has been around since Generation 1 that has tanked special attacks since the beginning of time? Chansey and Blissey.
Chansey more so with Evolite.
Yes! Which means that it could tank this thing and force it out easily.
I think one of the things it
might get also a bit of a physical boost. I'm willing to bet it's not going to be 100% special attack.
No, I don't. I think it'll. No, if it's going to get any boost, it's going to be to its defenses.
like I say, 10 or 20 to its defenses apiece, then buff it into special attack maybe by 50 points. Because the speed is actually very deliciously at 101.
Yeah.
Yes, so it is fast, but
It's well rounded all over. It's got 83 HP, 80 attack, 75 defense, and 70 special attack and special defense, respectively.
When they say
So
massively, I'm imagining it getting a 40 to 50% boost. So that's going to be 120, 130.
which is respectable, but again, Pokemon of that caliber have appeared for a while, and Blissey still walled them out.
However, I think because Pigeot is going to be forming the Visceral, that some of the partners for it are going to go ahead and, one, come in to go ahead and take hits for it, and number two, going to go ahead and take care of the pink blob that you aforementioned.
There is another thing that could be done with Pigeot, and that is the fact that it does have a primarily physical moveset, which means I could see this thing legitimately running as a wall breaker. It could be. It got Brave Bird.
It has Brave Bird, but I mean, like, so everything pretty much has Brave Bird, but the only one who's been able to make use of it are Talonflame, who has priority on it, and Staraptor, who, even to this day, is still one of the best birds in Pokemon. Not just because of its massive attack power, but also because of the fact that close combat is the most reliable physical move for bird types until this thing gets Focus Blast. Otherwise, they have to rely on Superpower, which is not that good.
Yeah.
Well, unless you have Contrarian. Or, no,
Nothing has Contrarian.
No, hang on. Unless you have Braviary's Defiant, in which case every time you attack...
It doesn't activate on your own self-drops. It's been established since Generation 5.
Shoot. Man. Okay,
So, well, I will say that its normal attack is not pitiful. I mean, it's 80.
Yeah.
It could still have some good moves. It might not be a very good mixed attacker, but it still could be one.
Yeah, but then you're giving up one of your slots to go ahead and put that as a move. I mean,
It's always been the big toss-up.
Uproar, Hurricane, Heat Wave, and preferably, I would put in the fourth slot if it gets a Focus Blast. I would have to switch out one of those four for, say, Brave Bird, and I don't think that's a very good trade-off.
Actually, I would probably replace one of those with Roost.
Or you could even, and then if you put Roost in, then you even have even less slots. So I don't think it's necessarily a good trade-off.
So it still suffers from 4 move slots.
I think better than trying to make the ultimate is work more on team dynamics, and I think that's the thing about Megas is that they're your key, but you have to let the other Pokemon members on your team do some of the heavy lifting. So they're the ones taking out key threats, and letting your Megas essentially are your streamlined ways of setting up our setup sweepers. You go ahead, you have your opening, you have your Pokemon take out troublesome Pokemon, and then you send in your Mega mid to late game and go ahead and sweep.
Yeah, or to crack the nut.
I think that's what it is. It's less about this should not be the first thing you go to. This is the big thing you go to.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. I think when you talk about Megas, you have to consider this is the end all be all. It still has its own flaws like any other Pokemon, but you definitely need to work more about team composition.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
All right.
There were 2 other Megas that were announced, but we kind of already knew about them.
Yeah, thanks to a hacker, we knew that Mega Latios and Mega Latias.
Who look almost identical.
Well, yeah, the only difference between them is the eye color. They're both purple.
How the fuck are you supposed to be able to tell them apart?
Well, they do have to transform in front of you, so...
I know, I'm just saying that, boy, is it going to be a buttfuckery.
Yeah.
was it the special tank, or was it the special cannon? I can't remember.
Remember, the pink one is the tank, right?
They're both purple.
The one that's smiling is the one that's the tank. The one that's kind of serious is the cannon.
They both look serious now.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
You sound like you're in denial over this.
Yeah, but anyway, it did tell us that with Mega Latios and Mega Latias, which I believe they also announced that the Eon ticket will be back in the game as well.
Oh, joy.
Oh, will it finally be legal?
Yeah, let me...
Please, let it be legal.
Well, I'm heading to the news section to figure out
So what's the big deal about the Eon ticket? I never got to that point.
The Eon ticket basically gave you a pass on the boat in God, what was the name of Lilyco City?
Yes,
Okay.
and it would allow you to go to the island and allow you to catch the other legendary Eon Pokemon. For instance, if you were playing Sapphire and you were getting Latias, you could
Get Latios.
So you can actually get both in each game.
Yes, without having to trade.
Yeah.
However, getting the ticket was a pain in the butt because you had to basically go to, 2 different sides of the country before you were able to in order to get to the event.
Or you have an e-card reader.
Right.
Which, like, I knew no one who had one of those.
It's
So,
a shoddy mechanic.
yeah. Let's see.
It couldn't have been worse than the Virtua Boy.
Let's see. I'm trying to look for it.
But Zero looked for that. One of the big things about the Latis that you can do in ORAS is ride them
Ah, yes.
like motorcycles.
Yeah.
card games on motorcycles!
No Pokemon on motorcycles.
No, your Pokemon are the motorcycles. Although we've already had that with Go-Go, but that's another story.
Yeah, okay,
you can
so...
actually ride them into the sky and catch more legendaries.
Yes, they revealed that in the sky, you could actually encounter Dialga and Palkia, as well as Reshiram and Zekrom.
So you can basically invade Mount Olympus and capture the gods.
Not only that, but there are also wild Pokemon encounters within the clouds themselves. And if you remember looking at the new map for ORAS, they actually showed you a whole bunch of clouds in the upper area, which means...
There's Pokemons out there.
Yep.
That is actually phenomenal. One of the things I used to love about the Hoenn region was the fact that it was such a magnificently large and diverse area.
Yeah, here's what it says. You can access the sky through the Eon Flute item.
Oh my gosh. Well, what you're basically telling me is that the already gigantic and expansive land of Hoenn has now just gotten bigger because not only do we have the land and the sea, but also the skies to explore.
That is correct, sir.
Yep.
Oh, thank the Lord!
Thank Arceus Almighty.
I was about to say Legend just became a Seventh-day Arceus convert.
Okay, so here's the information on the Eon ticket. It's said to return through a special distribution that makes Latias available in Omega Ruby and Latios available in Alpha Sapphire. Ticket will be distributed via serial code in an upcoming issue of Korokoro magazine.
Which means more bullshit for us in the States.
Well, they have to include it now.
Yeah.
No, they released things about the Mega Charizard that we never got here.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
But yeah, legendary Pokemon are found. So basically, all non-event Pokemon are available for capture in these games.
Well, they've also stated that certain Pokemon, like say Deox, they're going to make any Pokemon that have not been available to this current generation available. So like Deoxys and Jirachi, which were only available as far back as Gen 4, are supposed to be catchable.
Oh god, please let there be a good Jirachi that I can capture. By the way, that reminds me, Legend, you still owe me my Jirachi.
I don't know if I can cash in on that, though. The thing is, you recall that I used the original Gen 4, Gen 5 trade-in, correct?
Yeah.
The original Wi-Fi. Well, didn't Nintendo shut that down?
Yes, they did.
But not the local Wi-Fi.
No.
No, but their servers in which he does the hacking are closed down.
Yes. So I might not be able to do that. However, that's not to say that you can't catch a new Jirachi.
Well, if they do that, I could probably catch it. I'll just have to get Gardevoir with Synchronized and the right type, right nature.
Yes, you're going to have to
so.
go ahead and go through the labor. But,
to have a Star Child, huh?
Yeah, basically. But I think if they do reintroduce the tutors, the Jirachi should have a huge blast in this generation.
Yeah. This reminds me, why aren't all the little sprite Pokemon now fairy types?
Well, I don't know.
it's one
Jirachi
of those Pokemon theories I don't think we're going to get into anytime soon.
Yeah, so...
Because it would essentially mean that Mew has to be retyped as fairy.
No, Mew's not going to be a fairy type.
Ugh. No,
I wouldn't count Mew as one of those sprite
Oh god,
Pokemon.
I think we're going to have to devote a next podcast. I think we should go ahead and do Fantasymon and talk about what happens if the four sprites, Celebi, Jirachi, Manaphy, and Victini all become subtype fairy.
Oh, well, we'll save that.
We have to save that for a future podcast.
All right, we'll do that. So, other Pokemon
Public
news.
service announcement. Get your pumpkins while they are in season.
Yes, there is a supersized Pumpkaboo out for Halloween.
Now, if I recall, the supersized Pumpkaboo gets a boost in the HP and a drop in the speed section, right?
Yes.
Boosting the attacks, dropping the speed, I thought.
Well, in any case, it is the supersize, and it does come with several very fun moves that are just perfect for Halloween. I love whoever came up with this.
Yeah, let me check to see what it said about him.
I know for a fact that it does have Trick or Treat as a move. It also has, I believe, Shadow Sneak.
Let me click on it. I'm going down, checking. Here we go. It's got Trick or Treat, Astonish, Scary Face, and Shadow Sneak.
Yes, so you can trick or treat for wonderful little goodies.
It also comes with freaking Rocky Helmet as an equipped item.
Yeah, I was right. It gets a boost in HP and a drop in speed.
Yes.
The supersize has 59 HP and 41 speed.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So we're looking at a Pokemon that is out to scare people for fun, sneak around, and go trick-or-treating in a Rocky Helmet costume.
Yeah, if I recall, a Gourgeist which is the evolved form of Pumpkaboo, gets an 85 HP and 54 speed, which is not bad. It's got pretty decent attack and defense.
Well, the reason they're giving out this Pokemon is because they're going to do a battle circuit competition in the later months where the supersized Pumpkaboo must be a member of your team.
Really?
Yeah, that's the reason they're giving this out as part of one of their themes. I think the most recent one they had was the Fairy Battle-Off, which was you can only have Fairy Pokemon in your party.
Oh, man.
So they're definitely pushing the online circuits for this, which give you
which, if I
Pokemon.
recall, you can actually go to those online circuits through your DS.
Yes, you can. It's actually very easy and very accessible. It's actually kind of fun.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, that's pretty much it as far as Pokemon news. Now let's move on to something fun.
Oh, goody. It's time for the Douchebag of the Week.
Oh, boy.
So, Leo brought this one to our attention.
He usually does, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
I actually brought one, but it was denied.
Yes.
No, it was too foul for our podcast.
What, it wouldn't fly?
No, it was for the birds.
If you guys know what we're talking about, then go ahead and groan in the comments.
Okay, well, why don't I just say it?
Yes, go ahead and say it.
Okay, so here's the thing.
He's been nesting on it for the week.
Well, let me crack this thing open so we can get to the yolk. That was 2 for the price of 1 pun, thank you. Okay, so...
You know that happens only once in a blue moon.
Okay, so here's the
Or
thing.
is it a red moon?
So, Amazon has been coming up with a new technological advance. It has basically come up with a way to deliver your package within basically half an hour.
Is this the whole thing
Is
where
this
they
a
use...
Ron Jeremy sized package?
Well, it's meant to be a small package and
Oh.
exclusively for Amazon Prime members. What the package would be delivered by
is a drone.
is a quadcopter drone, which would carry the package directly to your doorstep, leave it there, and then fly off.
Oh, God, the paranoia.
Not quite. Unfortunately for the drones, one thing they did not anticipate was that the skies are actually already occupied by creatures that already hunt other creatures. In one very famous caught-on-camera moment, and this is the one I'm talking about, a hawk swooped down on the drone carrying the package and intercepted it in mid-air.
Imagine if you actually had a trained falcon.
Oh, you would be such a huge troll with this thing. But yeah, the hawk swooped in on the copter, and the guy was forced to stop the copter in midair and let the thing fall to the ground. And this is beginning to be a bit of a problem for Amazon because this is not the first time it's happened.
Then why are they still doing it?
Well, the thing is, again, it's very speedy. But they are starting to, I think, get the idea that this might not be good. Because the birds seem to own the skies and they want to keep it that way.
Yeah. Although, there is a good way to get rid of the birds.
Well,
Get a giant power plant and watch them explode. No, not a power plant. Out in the middle of the desert, they're actually making this giant solar power plant. And the solar reflectors are creating such an intense heat from the reflection that the birds are literally cooking in the sky.
Tastes like chicken.
No, the thing is, the people are saying it smells awful.
Well, not without the lemon and the butter.
Uh,
Anyway, back to the other douchebag of the week. So your douchebag of the week were hawks.
Yes, mine were the birds who wanted everyone out of the skies. Yes.
This sounds like a bad Hitchcock parody, by the way.
Yeah, I could see that. Anyway, the other douchebag of the week, Microsoft CEO says women should ask for karma, not raises.
Ooh.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
In the
What?
latest series of corporate snafus, the Microsoft CEO said at a feminist, I think it was a feminist business panel,
Oh god.
that women should not ask for raises, but they should be quiet and let karma go ahead and pay them back instead. I imagine this will be followed by him spending a month on the couch.
Oh god.
Month on the couch, I can already hear the divorce papers being signed.
Ooh.
And not only that, I'm pretty sure he's going to end up without his wedding tackle.
Oh god.
Why do you always have to go below the belt, Zero?
Because thanks to you, I remember the news story from a while back where a woman was so mad at her husband that she chopped off the guy's dick and put it in the garbage disposal.
Oh god.
What?
Yeah.
Jeez. Ornstein, run for your life.
Talk about making sausage.
But yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Microsoft has just been doing snafu after snafu after snafu. They just can't seem to get that foot out of their mouth.
You know who has been doing good, though, recently?
Oh?
Nintendo.
Oh, what's going on with Nintendo?
Well, Legend should know he just bought the latest game last week.
Ah, yes. Smash Brothers for the 3DS has finally been released, and I've heard some mixed reviews about it. To which I say, I don't see the problem. Go ahead. I heard most of the.
Well, again, the critical review I heard was from the Super Best Friends podcast, and two of the members were having a lot of complaints, basically about the 3DS's CPU power compared for the Smash system, as well as some of the design things overall with it.
Okay. To which I do have some counter arguments. For one, I do like the fact that I now have Smash in my pocket. That is awesome. I love the idea of being able to go anywhere without having to sit down, plug it into the wall, do this, do that, or anything. No, I just pull it out, pop the game in, turn it on, and I'm good to go. That's fine. I love that. And the 3DS is a powerful enough system, I believe, to run a good, fast Smash.
Technically, it's strong enough to play GameCube games, and with the latest Amiibo, it can actually play Wii games.
Exactly. So there's all of that. And as for characters and their redesigns, if you're a fan of many of these older characters, you're going to love what they've done with some of them. Link's down thrust is now incredibly powerful and lethal.
Yeah, I remember kicking your guy's ass in the demo with that.
Oh, it's still awesome. And of course, they added all kinds of great things to other Zelda characters as well. Sheik, for instance, no longer does her side special used to be the chain thing. They would just bring out the chain and then stay there swirling the chain around. No one was using it, so they decided, okay, we're going to swap it out. And instead, we now have a sort of trap Deku nut, which will suck in enemy players and then explode. It is awesome.
So it's like a mini black hole bomb.
Yes, it is. It is awesome. And they've done all these great things with other characters, to the point that some of the older, lesser characters seem to be climbing in rank. For one, I actually saw Yoshi in the top tier in Japan. Yoshi!
Oh yeah, that
I
reminds me. You did mention the top tier. Zero Suit Samus was in there. Yoshi.
Oh god, don't even get me started on Zero Suit Samus. I would go to the same lengths as I did with Ornstein.
So let's see. I believe all the people who are raging about her high heels, I'm pretty sure she's using them to stomp on your nuts.
No. She did not put on high heels to give up her femininity or to emphasize it. She strapped rockets to her feet so that she could add third-degree burns to the slew of broken bones. That's what this is. Samus is now freaking unstoppable with her rocket boots, and I'm loving every second of it.
Wow, Legend being happy about torture. That's a new one.
Well, I'm not the one getting hit with it. Anyway, yeah, they've done some amazing things with the characters, and I do recommend it. Though there is one small thing that I will go ahead and point out about the game. It isn't user-friendly, at least if you're not accustomed to using a 3DS. If you don't have like the attachment that rounds out the DS, the corners will dig into your palms, and I do recommend getting like an attachment.
Either that or get the bigger version.
Or get the bigger version.
Which does not dig into you at all.
Right.
Are you talking about the 3DS XL or the new 3DS XL?
Well,
Do you see how fucking confusing the name is? I do not know why Nintendo decided to say new 3DS. They could have said 3DS Mega or 3DS Ultra. No.
Or Plus.
They had to go the new 3DS.
yeah. And it's XL in the US and LL in Japan. Which is even more
Why do they
confusing.
put LL when they don't even have a letter for it?
Is it Ed?
Edu.
Oh god, don't make me start doing Kakuin's
I will take a potato chip and eat it.
Alright, so
Yeah. So I do like the design to the game itself, but again, I do have a little bit of a problem with the interface.
if you're more of a handheld fan, I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy this version. If you're more of a console fan, then
You're probably going to dislike it. But I do think that what they're doing with the characters is awesome. And if this is supposed to be like a little preview, as people have been calling it, to the Wii U version, I say by all means, I will chew on this thing for a little while before that game comes out. Heaven knows I don't have the money for it.
don't worry, he'll be playing my version.
What?
Anyway, moving on. Let's see. Oh,
Keep on mixing the fan fiction drink, boys. This is going to be a long day.
fanfiction Margarita. Moving on to our next subject, we have a new trailer from Nintendo for the new 3DS, as you were mentioning before.
You catching a cold there, man?
No, I'm okay. I'm good.
I was worried that this commercial gave you diabetes or something.
Diabetes?
Diabetes!
You mean diabetes?
Yeah, well, regardless, this commercial is filled with so much sugar that it gives you freaking... I need an insulin shot just looking at it. Oh, God! Ah! I didn't mean literally! Ah!
But yeah.
Needless to say, among the new features they're posing along with the C-Stick are interchangeable back panels.
Which is kind of cool. Customizable background, so you don't have to always fuss about the same things.
So it's basically like an iPhone casing, but it's for the 3DS.
Yes.
Which is pretty okay.
I just wish they didn't do that whole bubblegum pop thing.
It's Japan. What do you expect?
I did not expect to see Bowser with his hair combed over in a tuxedo.
Oh, well, we saw that in Super Paper Mario. What's the problem?
His head, he looked a little more refined than that one.
Well, he was at his wedding, but yeah, the commercial itself...
That and I did not expect to see Link in a top hat either.
Well, that was actually kind of cute. But the thing is that there was too much cute. It's too much sugar.
Yeah.
And, of course, there's all that naming snafus going on, so...
So, let's move away from that to, Leo. You have a little announcement to make?
Yeah, something about Dragon Quest.
Oh yeah, so I talked earlier last time about Dragon Quest 1 coming out for iOS and Android, which Zero refuses to buy.
Well, I'm just kind of iffy about playing it because I've had trouble playing really good games on my iPhone beforehand.
Again, then this is not based off of the Unreal Engine. You're going to run this fine.
I know. Also, I'm a very cheap bastard.
It's $2.99.
Too rich for my blood.
You spend more on root beer. The 6-pack of root beers you get is more than this game.
I get that for us every single damn time we hang out.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't afford one of those.
Yeah, mostly because my mom pays my bill.
Okay. So, yeah, we've got Dragon Quest II out. Which platform was this originally for?
Super Famicom, I believe.
Super Famicom.
Yeah, it did get a US release later on, and eventually a re-release onto the
Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance.
No, not the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color. But this version looks incredibly high res compared to any of those.
Really?
So you're going to notice severe quality improvement for only the price of $2.99.
Okay. What about the game itself? I'm not quite familiar with the Dragon Quest series, so...
The Dragon Quest games often play in a trilogy, so every 3 games usually occurs more or less in the same timeline.
Yeah. The first trilogy is the Loto or Eredrick trilogy. The 4, 5, and 6 are the Zenithian trilogy.
So what's 7, 8, 9?
I can't really say about 7, 8, 9 because I don't think that one actually had a trilogy.
It kind of did, considering that it was very oddly spaced out. But yeah, there is a trilogy there. Yeah. I just don't remember because God, I haven't played 7 in a long time.
And they all have their own unique plots, right?
Yes. It's like It's again very close to Final Fantasy, but because of the art style and the gameplay mechanics, it plays very differently from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, the art style is by Akira Toriyama.
So
if it looks kind of Dragon Ball-y to you, that's because it is.
Before the merger of Squaresoft and Enix Company exclusively owned Dragon Quest, and it was competing with Squaresoft's Final Fantasy.
Huh.
So that's why it's so odd to talk about these 2 games differently, even though right now they're currently under the same company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the faces on these look great, especially compared to some of the more recent inventions.
Such as?
NBA 2K15.
And it's a sports game, so I'm imagining it'll be crap.
Oh no!
Oh.
Well, sports games always have to have their once a year innovation, something that will set them out from the last game.
AKA the new roster.
That's what they tried to do this time. One of the features they did for this game is if you have something like, say, a PSI or a Kinect, you can use those to take pictures of yourself, and the computer will take the photo, digitize it, and make you into a playable character, kind of like along the lines of the Mii's.
You know, I've noticed that there's a lot of self-insertion going on in a lot of these new video games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's becoming a thing.
Cool.
But the problem is they don't come back very human-like. In fact,
It's very Uncanny Valley-esque.
You wouldn't even consider them Uncanny Valley. You take a human portrait and you come out with the undead.
Oh God!
There's imager galleries of the butchering of the photos and the NBA, what the conversion is, and it's just god awful. So if you think that the Mii's are inaccurate, this is worse by far.
Well, at least the Mii's are like cartoony and whatnot, so
These are supposed to be real to life, so good luck with that.
Yeah. Next, we have something new on our list, a Nintendo Theory. Wait a minute, shouldn't MatPat be doing this?
Yeah, I don't think he's got to that one yet. He just did the thing with Watch Dogs, so I don't think he's going to be getting to Smash for a while.
Yeah.
So, but I thought we could cover this just for a little bit, because it's a very interesting thing about the Mario universe, and it's about the Life Up mushrooms. A description of the Life Up mushrooms in Smash 4 talks about not necessarily that Mario gets an extra continue or that time, or creates a time paradox, but more along the lines of Mario is actually cloning himself.
Wait, what?
That the Life Ups create clones of Mario, which is how he's doing his multiple runs. It's not that he's retrying or that it's a multiple universe. It's that he's making clones and doing a Meat Boy scenario.
Huh.
Yeah, pretty weird, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of a. I always kind of thought that like extra lives were kind of like,
Kind of bullshit.
yeah, extra lives are kind of bullshit. They're just an old add-on from the days of the arcade.
Nah, no. I mean, losing all your lives was, back in the day, it was a game over. Now they just give you so many lives that, well, it's just an infinite number of continues. But, I've always had this one theory. Well, actually, I recently picked up this theory, and this was from Matt Pat, with regard to his video on Rosalina. And I do recommend go and find Matt Pat's video, Game Theory, and who Rosalina actually is. But Matt Pat seems to suggest, towards the end of the video of the second chapter in his series, that the extra lives are not in fact Mario's clones. They are his
Alternate dimensions.
alternate dimension selves.
Yeah.
Which does seem to be suggested in the Mario series, with Luigi appearing and rescuing his other dimension self in the Luigi run of Super Mario Galaxy, and not to mention the fact that, well, the galaxy just smashed itself and reappeared.
Mhm.
So who's to say that alternate timelines don't exist? And it's even been touched on briefly in games like Fire Emblem Awakening, as well as confirmed in the timeline in the Zelda universe. So alternate dimension shenanigans are happening all across Nintendo.
That
So
would
who's to say?
that would certainly explain a few of the reasons for Smash.
Oh yeah.
Well, Smash. I think one of the other theories is that Nintendo's world is actually all interconnected to begin with. So
That's another one of the
it's much less that holes are being opened and more like you're just going over to a friend's house to visit.
Just go across the land to go visit the Mushroom Kingdom from Hyrule.
Actually, that is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually allude to that in I think I want to say Link's Awakening.
I did also. There's also references to Mario in Ocarina of Time.
Mhm.
So who knows?
Well, Link is also in Final Fantasy.
True.
I mean,
And Soul Calibur for that matter.
yeah, that's right. So I mean,
but then again, so is Darth Vader.
Yeah. And that brings up another kind of worms that
which is also shared in a world with Altair from Assassin's Creed.
we could go on for hours about this. So
Matt also has a series about this. We're just basically doing
It's not Mad Pat. It's a different series called Crossover.
I know, but still, it's basically 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
So who's Kevin Bacon in this, Mario?
No, it's just that everything will eventually lead to Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, but I mean, like, who is the Kevin Bacon in the video game universe?
Fuck if I know. Someone will probably tell us that in the comments. Anyway, let's move on to our next subject. Little Big Planet 3 brings more Brit.
Yes, Hugh Laurie is being brought in as the new villain for the series game, along with his favorite co-worker Stephen Fry.
oh god.
Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie, 2 British actors whose voices are like gold.
Yep, exactly.
By the way, if you don't know who Hugh Laurie is, go watch House, goddammit.
Yes, so that's a fantastic little cameo that he's doing. So that one is other news that we have.
We have confirmed the release dates for ORAS and Smash, which are both on 11/20.
Black Friday, it is.
Oh god.
Prepare to stand outside the GameStops in horror, gentlemen. We will need to brave the winter to go ahead and receive our rubies and our sapphires.
I'm gonna need a riot shield to get through that, damn it.
You're going to need a riot shield and a chastity belt on your wallet.
What?
To prevent anyone from stealing it.
Right. Right.
Gosh. Where would you know to get one of those, Zero?
I have my ways.
Oh god damn it.
Also coming up a couple of days later is Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker on December 5th.
And I'm not getting that game.
It looks like it'll be a fun little spin-off.
Yeah, it's probably good for like the younger kids, but not my cup of tea.
You know what wasn't good for the younger kids, guys?
What?
Sonic X.
That was us.
That was a terrible series.
Yes.
It was all about freaking Chris Thorndike and whatever the fuck his family's name was. It was a terrible. It was the only thing to try and come close to making an animated version of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. But you know what? It just had too many humans. The only human that should be in the Sonic universe is Dr. Robotnik.
Yes. And, well, it turns out I think we got our wish with the latest cartoon that's coming on November 8th.
Sonic Boom.
And we saw the trailer, and we'll provide a link in the description to it, and...
What are initial thoughts, you might say?
Boy, does this look weird.
It does look weird, but it also looks fun.
And
The basic prompt seems to be that Robotnik is forced to live with the main cast.
That in and of itself. Robotnik now lives with Sonic and friends. This is gold. Gold, I tell you.
That being said, the characters seem to have new quirks. Sonic seems to be even more self-realizing in his badassery.
Tails is apparently has ADD.
Well, I noticed for one that, well, he's younger. He's young.
Amy's trying to be a psychologist.
Well, at least in that, I think she's trying to be caring and trying to connect, like trying to bring a truce between Eggman and Sonic.
Well,
Amy being
well,
caring?
Hang on. Let me point
And
this
not
out.
glomping Sonic every goddamn second.
Well, think about it. She doesn't have to go very far to find him now. And he's not running away for her for whatever reason. The gag is over. They're living in the same house. What more could she ask for?
True.
So she actually goes
well,
to show off.
Actually, are we going to the same place as the pitter-patter of running hedgehog children?
No.
No, I'm actually going that... There's a reason why he's known as the fastest hedgehog alive.
You're going to that place, okay.
Oh, dear God.
So, in addition to Shamey putting up with Robotnik, they still have Tails, Knuckles, and the replacement for Marine the Raccoon, Styx the Badger.
Who looks fun as heck. She looks batshit.
Well, she is. Her character is designed to be paranoid.
I am not paranoid. Looks to her shadow. Stop following me.
She seems to be half Pacific Islander, half cave woman for some reason.
Well, but she doesn't talk like that. She talks like a normal person.
Until she starts yelling at her shadow.
Yeah.
And Shadow's not here.
And we're not talking about Shadow, the gothy emo hedgehog.
Which actually, I believe he does appear in the DS version of the game.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hail Shadow!
And he doesn't look like an emo whiny badass. He still looks like a badass, but he's not being whiny and emo.
And does he talk something like this?
Probably not as deep as that.
Depends on the voice actor.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
The last thing to note is probably the most fan-fictioning thing I have ever seen.
Oh, God.
So we have officially made the fanfiction Margarita now, haven't we?
Yes, with the amount of bullshit and lager you could imagine.
Yes, but this looks like a drink that I could get into. You did say it was a fanfiction cocktail, so heck, why not?
Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
The most fan-fiction-y game ever.
Okay, so to wit, the fanfiction-y elements are A, self-insertion. No. First off, A, they are self-insertion. You can create a character who will basically obtain whatever other
Any
powers.
character. You could be Namekian, you can be human, you could be an android.
You could be fucking Majin Buu.
You could be a gender-bent Majin Buu, for that matter.
Who joins the Ginyu Force.
Yes! And that also brings up another thing. Besides the fact that you can obtain every single power, but you can talk to every single other character in universe.
Yeah, because basically in this game, the entire timeline has been skull-fucked.
Well, not so much like that. I would say it's been more shattered and you're trying to put it back together.
Yeah, but...
But Trunks has you pull more time dimension shenanigans, and this forces the main cast to come to this time dimensional hub And most of the main characters will teach you techniques and give you powers.
Oh, I forgot to mention, it's also kind of MMO-ish because you can have 1-on-1 battles and 3-on-3 battles.
3-on-3 battles. Just thinking about that has me grinning ear to ear.
And it involves, you can team up with multiple players across, seems to be over the internet. It does seem to have an MMO feel to it. You don't have to, it seems to be somewhat optional.
So it could be like Dark Souls, right?
Yeah, if you have team battles,
And
you
once
have
we
to
go back to Dark Souls.
If you have team battles, you have to participate too. There are story characters that can follow you in. They had one team battle where the player character was teamed up with Yamcha and Tien. Not the best pairing, mind you.
No one wants Yamcha. No one wants Yamcha.
No one screws life but Yamcha. No, wait. No one... shit. Okay. I think I got the line wrong. I apologize
No
for
one
that.
screws life but Krillin.
No.
You know what? Let's just forget about that.
Forget about that. I forgot the
Anyway,
line.
so, yeah, no idea when it's coming out, no idea what system is going to be on, but it looks crazy as all can be.
Yes, and one of my favorite moments, one of those little glimpses of the MMO aspect of it, was like you and four other people doing the Ginyu pose. All together. And then people just clapping in the background. It's awesome.
Yeah, so... Yeah, as we said, fanfiction Margarita, it's going to be one hell of a stiff drink, and you're going to have one hell of a trip afterwards.
But it's going to be a cocktail that I will thoroughly enjoy.
Alright, anything coming up on the channel?
Well, I've finally gotten all the voice acting recorded for the creepypasta. It should be done right on schedule if all things go accordingly.
Alright, given the sudden interest in more megas that are coming out, we probably will not be able to start doing, we probably won't be able to do any more type reviews until next year, just so we can do our research. We probably will start getting it ready by December, and by January, early to mid-January, we should actually have the next type out.
True, but we could do like mini podcasts of like reviews of different games.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah,
We'll probably work on that later on before.
Let us know what you think about that idea, by the way.
Before
like,
we take
like
off for
mini,
Christmas.
Yeah, like mini little podcast reviews of certain games.
Okay.
All right then. So with that, this is Death Zero.
The Force.
And Legend Hunter signing out.
Later.
Ciao.